the reality has to set in. You know, when you're a YouTube influencer, when you're a YouTube celebrity, I got no shame on your hustle, right, guys? If you make your money on YouTube, you make your money on Instagram, you got to make your money on TikTok, but then you get a little bit full of yourselves, just like Jake Paul did. Jake Paul did what Andy Kaufman did years ago, but Andy Kaufman did it better. He had a gimmick. Fighting women, having the Goldberg streak before Goldberg streak was cool. Andy Kaufman did that. Jake Paul tried to do that with boxing, and finally they caught up to him with a professional boxer like Anthony Joshua. And then Andrew Tate, he did the same thing too, but he supposedly was a boxer back in the days, and now he's 40. He's out of jail, and now he says, it is what it is on that.
Vet?
So, Andrew Tate was supposedly known for fighting before he became an influencer.
He was a kickboxer. He was a champion, I believe,
right,
too.
And nobody knows who any kickboxers are. So the funny thing is that now, we're not talking about Jean-Claude Van Damme from '89.
No, man, I'm a big kickboxing fan, believe it or not.
There's not one such thing that you would call a star of kickboxing. But retroactively, you could have said Andrew Tate is, because if he got famous for being an asshole, and then people say, where'd this guy come from? Oh, he used to be a kickboxer. Oh, okay. So it is funny that
fan back in the day, just quietly.
All right. Well, you're the one. Okay. But anyways, the point is that, I don't know what the deal was with that, because I just saw that in passing on social media. As far as the Jake Paul thing, I don't know if you could say that this caught up to him, Professor, because this whole thing has been curated by him. Like, it's this whole circus him and his brother have been doing with this celebrity boxing thing. Well, like, not one second of it has been legit.
No, it hasn't been legit, and he's gotten paid for it. He got $90 million for it. But you know what? Sometimes I blame the consumer, Vet. That's the way I look at it, because everybody is paying to see him get his ass beat. But then the opponents he picked are just as lame as it is. And then the Tyson fight was just an insult, and Tyson didn't get knocked out or whatever, but he was in his 50s. At least you got a professional fighter here in Anthony Joshua. I think he's 35, 36, but technically in his prime.
35, by the way.
Technically in his prime, but that's the way it was supposed to be. That's what I'm saying, Vet. And I got a Netflix subscription, so I don't feel cheated about it. But again, people paid hard-earned money to go to that arena, but that's what you're expecting. And now you got what you expected. So that's
finally, because you had to, because when you're doing a work, you have to pay it off eventually, right?
It's long-term storytelling. I get it.
Yeah, either that Anthony Joshua was just the first guy that said he wasn't like, look, I can't take a dive for you, man, but I'll do the thing with you. Like he's like, if that's probably how it went, or this is Jake Paul's way out, because why would he agree to, why would he agree to get knocked out? Now, any of the people he's ever fought could have knocked him out. That's not a question, right? Even, it's just, so the fact that people are actually, this is the sad part. The fact that people actually go and have like what they consider to be a legitimate discourse about, oh, well, like you could see how, Mike Tyson is just he's not as young as he used to be, like, the people that are actually talking about this would be like if we're saying, man, if John Cena could have just countered Gunther's sleeper, if only he just had if only he had spent more time training BJJ, he could have got out of that sleeper that Gunther. That's how ridiculous it sounds when people are talking about like these fights actually happened. The pro fights that fight pros don't actually happen. Wilder Fury trilogy were not real fights. They were WWE matches with boxing gloves on. That people have been fixing fights since you could have fights. Like that and like, as phony as some of the fights, I think we talk about recently? Didn't we talk about the Phantom Punch and Sonny Liston and stuff? All that recently? Didn't we just talk about that not that long ago? And like stuff that's so obviously phony over the years that when you look back with a trained eye, you can be like, I should have seen that. And then on top of how phony stuff has always been, then you have an even phonier thing on top of it that people are still like legitimately discussing as if this shit is real. Like, people really talk about Jake Paul, and I understand everybody at the event has to do it. Like, the announcers have to, they have to play along, and everybody else has to play along or whatever. But there's not one professional fighter of any weight class that couldn't go in there, piece up Jake Paul in the first round, and walk out. But what's the fun in that? Because the first time that happens, you're not going to pay to see it again. So he's dragged it out over many events. And the question is, the first question I have on this is just this his way out? Like, I've done this enough and I don't need to do it anymore. And maybe now I can promote other people going in and having fake fights, rather than myself doing it. I've done all I need to do. Like, is this his like swan song as far as being a boxer himself? Like, this is his way out. Like, I'm going to go out on top, or is because if he brings somebody else in and books himself to win again, people are going to be like, it's going to be diminishing returns. Like, well, I already seen you get knocked out by Anthony Joshua. That's all I ever wanted. Like the professor said, that's all we've been waiting for. We wanted to see you get knocked out. We saw it. I don't care who else does it now. I'm not going to spend my time watching that. I don't know. I have no idea.
He did the honors. Now he could go to WWE Raw and join division with Logan Paul.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're wrong though, because he did come out and say that he wants to go into the cruiserweight division now in boxing and continue fighting just quietly. That's what he said.
Well, then
I don't know.
Then why doesn't he just go get ranked and compete with the real divisions then?
Well, that's what I think he's doing now. That's what he wants to do.
It's too late, though. He's too old now. He's going to lose to everybody. Unless he fixes... No, he will. Well, he's going to fix all these fights, too. I mean, obviously, like I said, I already made the point that pro fights have been fixed since the beginning of time. So, it's going to be obvious.
I think Jake Paul is confusing cruiserweights with what he saw in wrestling. He's probably thinking there's a Juventud Guerrera boxer. He's probably thinking there's a La Parka boxer. So, I think he has to... get a crash course in these weight classes in boxing, especially since all the divisions, the WBO, the WBA, the WBC, just like that, it's all corrupt. It's all mismanaged and stuff like that.
Well, that's why we have all those divisions in the first place in different promotions and shit because of corruption and everyone not getting along and all this bullshit. I mean, we even got a Ring Magazine championship.
Right, and that's why UFC still has that stranglehold monopoly on, excuse me when I do these quotes, legit fighting. So that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do also want to point out, did you watch the fight at all? Actually, you probably didn't, right?
I saw the end of it.
Okay,
I turned on Netflix. I turned on Netflix. I assumed at the time when I turned it on, it would still be going, but they actually finished at a decent time for once. So it was over and I had to rewind it.
Well, if you watch the fight from round 1 to 6 where it ended, he literally took it up a notch every round. Like, he was toying with him, really. And then every round, he took it up a little bit. Come round 6, he's like, fuck this. I'm knocking this cunt out. That's it. He's done. And he just destroyed him. You know what I mean? Totally destroyed him.
That was the agreed upon time.
Yeah, well, yeah, he would have said, don't knock me out straight away 100% because, come on. If you wanted
when we saw the Tyson fight, we talked about, like, the moment there where the instinct kicked in and Tyson had to hold himself back. There was that one open hook that he had that would have ended Jake Paul's life, and he pulled back on it because that wasn't the thing. We didn't agree to that. We didn't agree to it killing Jake Paul with a hook. So we agreed to, whatever. So like that almost happened there, but
the best though with the Tyson fight, not once did he actually unleash an overhead right, his trademark punch. Not once do I recall him ever trying to do that punch, man. But yeah, he exposed the shit out of him. I will say he really got exposed how bad of a boxer he truly is. He can beat any freaking beat up UFC MMA fighter, no problem. Even though Anderson Silva looked freaking phenomenal, I'm not gonna lie, against Tyron Woodley in a boxing fight, even though they're both MMA guys. Go figure, in the undercard. But yeah, of course he's gonna beat anyone else that's not an actual real boxer. Come boxing, I'm telling you now, even I reckon the top 50, like the 50th ranked fighter, pro fighter, could probably destroy Jake Paul. That's probably going a little too far, but that's how I feel. He looks bad, dude, in that fight. Don't you reckon?
Hulk Hogan is rolling over in his grave like, why are you wearing my colors?
Jesus.
That doesn't work
And
for me,
then
brother.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
That doesn't work.
You know, not one person knew who Tekashi 6ix9ine was when we were talking about it over the weekend. Okay, you guys don't know who Tekashi 6ix9ine is? Or you probably don't even know who it is either, Vet, do you?
Yeah, that's that one guy, the rapper with the face tattoos who...
Yeah. And he's got the colorful hair. He does know him.
Yeah.
Well, everyone else didn't. The Hammer didn't. No one did. So I'm like, oh.
That's good.
Okay.
I'm proud to hear that. Like, I think more people should not know who he is, but unfortunately I do somehow.
And I'm glad. Do you remember how I said not Tekashi? Joshua came out with Talib Kweli. He was my sworn enemy. I've explained this before in the past. And no one gave a shit. So I was happy about that. Arakara Blue says he made more money that night. And all those guys mentioned in their careers 10 years ago, he was making Vine videos. The man is a juggernaut. Absolutely. I mean, you can't deny that.
Nobody's disputing that.
Right. Exactly.
That's the other people. That's the other thing people say. Like, when, you know, what my role, I guess, looking at the larger picture, the fact that I'm sitting here, like, my role is just to make sure that we as the hosts and you as the audience are all on the same page. Like, we're here to share our experiences and our wisdom as far as, you know, whatever we do, analysts or whatever. And, you know, and we share that with you guys, and we talk about it. We have discussions. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't agree, you know, but our whole thing is for your entertainment. We have a discussion and put it out there, and we're just letting you know. So when I'm telling you that these fights are fixed, all I'm telling you is that is the truth. And I'm not saying it's wrong to do that. I'm not saying that I want Jake Paul to legitimately fight, because I don't care what he does. He can do whatever he wants. He can do this circus. He could do anything. I'm just letting you know, in case you were confused, that any of this was legitimate from the beginning. I'm just telling you that it's not, so that you know that, and you can go forward saying whatever you say and thinking whatever you think, knowing that, right? And as far as like him getting his jaw broke, you know, like as Malaka Jones pointed out, like, he's going to ever tell me something about something, right? Yes, I'm sure that whenever they agreed to that finish, he didn't know exactly how hard he was going to get hit.
Well,
he's like, hey, please, when you punch me and knock me out, just make sure that you don't break my jaw and knock my teeth out. Yeah, I don't think that happened. I think it's just, that's just a byproduct of having that's a byproduct of having to take a real punch for once.
Yeah, he's not saying that he's not getting punched for real. It's got nothing to do with that.
I'm saying the circus, all of this, the Paul brothers circus, it's just a circus. I'm not telling you it's a bad idea. Of course they're making lots of money. Why wouldn't they make lots of money? The whole point of putting...
You know how real it was? Drake bet $2 million that he thought Jake Paul was going to win this fight. He lost.
Oh my God.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm fucking dead serious.
Drake is so smart. Like, I don't know how he could have been fooled. Wow. But anyways, so yeah, it's not me saying, oh, of course, this is the whole thing. Like, whether it's professional wrestling or sports or anything, is designed to take you guys' money. And they want you to first, it's their job to make you believe it somewhat. Now, how good they are at that is one thing. How gullible you are is another. The term marks refers to carnival techniques where they would take the suckers at the fair and pat them on the back with chalk so they would know, hey, this guy's an idiot. You know, here's the Malaka Jones of the group. Bam. Everybody get him for all of his money, you know, and send him home broke. That's what we do. So I'm just sharing that with you guys. That's all. I have to applaud it because it's working, you know. As a worker, I have to applaud it because it's working, and he's got it. And it's you can see who all the marks are, and it's great. So separate me saying that it's a work from me judging it as if it's morally wrong or legal or anything like that. All I'm just telling you is what's happening. You know, I don't have a judgment on it. It's entertainment for everyone.
And that's why we have this. Because now we
Right.
can fantasy book. What does Jake Paul do? What will we do? How do we get Jake Paul on the right path? Where does he go? WWE? Does he do a rematch? Because he thought he was robbed. Does he fight? Like you said, Jimmy, he's going to go to the cruiserweight division, which
That's
is
what he
kinda funny.
said. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but that's what he said.
If he puts over, well, you know, again, he's been fighting retired MMA fighters. He finally found one. He fought Tyson way over his prime, and then he finally fought,
Tyson.
and he finally got a fighter that could kick his ass and he could take it and all that stuff. So
former world champion, undisputed world champion, and gold medalist.
I'm just waiting for Jake Paul to challenge Rocky. You know, I'm waiting for him to say, "Yo, Sly Stallone, you know what? How fake it was? Let's create a movie right now."
Well, I just want to say, Malaka Jones, I love you, man, but your name says it all,
Yeah,
so
me too.
I'm going to have to give you this. Hey, the vet loves you too, but you're wrong about this, man. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they get hit for real, man. That doesn't mean they're not going to drop for somebody and make some money. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're not getting into that.
I'm glad this one looked good at least.
Right, and like I said, people who spent money especially in the Miami arena, felt very satisfied, whether it's a work or not. Again, it's a work. I got that bet. I'm just saying, but that money was well spent to see the entertainment. Just like, you know, when people question, not the internet wrestling community, but the casuals that question the internet wrestling community, why do you go to these WWE shows? Why do you go to these AEW shows? It's fake as fuck. Well, we're entertained. That's the money we want to spend for a work like that. And we want to be, you know, we want it to make sense. And that's why we buy the merch. We cheer, we get invested. It's the same thing. That's why wrestling is the best work product out there.
Absolutely.
We're very satisfied to keep spending our money. And actually, we're actually more satisfied to be dissatisfied, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Because, again, the mistakes, the flaws, that's what makes us keep spending our money. Doesn't make you change the channel, especially if you're a wrestling fan.
I agree with that 100%. Anyways, let's move on from that. That was a good little conversation about that, because we're going on to WWE news right now, and reportedly, apparently it seems that WWE is currently not going to be hiring any new talent. Now, according to Dave Meltzer, now let's take this with a grain of salt. He reported that his sources, keep that in mind, sources stated that talent from both TNA and AEW who had recently contacted WWE, this is so dumb, for potential new contracts were told that the company was not looking at hiring new people. Did you hear that, guys? So wrestlers from TNA and AEW called up WWE to see if there's any jobs available, and they said, sorry, we're not hiring. I mean, this just sounds so dumb. Is Meltzer real dumb? Maybe they don't want these guys. That's why they said that.
Jimmy, I will flip it.
Okay.
Honestly, I would say more for TNA side, because again, the future is murky. We don't know, because again, this is the partnership's working to a certain degree, and they got to deal with AMC. I understand that, guys, but at least on the TNA side, just look at it from that side. You just don't know. You just don't know because of this partnership. We don't know about could it be a hostile takeover? Remember, we didn't know about that with WCW when they got taken over in 2001. You don't know about your contract. You don't know about your future. The AEW side, that Meltzer's just blowing up bullshit there. But the TNA side, you just don't know about your future. You just want stability, and you just don't know what WWE's motivations are. And also, let's not forget Mexico. Let's not forget AAA. So it's the same
Actually, that's true. It's a good point.
It's the same thing with contracts.
You
just don't know about the future of their contracts and the lack of stability. There's more stability, guys, in AEW. So I don't see them wanting to ask or inquire.
That's actually a good point. I didn't think of AAA as well. And I mean, I guess that makes sense, right, Vet? In your opinion?
Does what make sense? That
AEW... they wouldn't be hiring because they do have, AAA, obviously, they just bought. They've got, I guess, an abundance of TNA wrestlers coming in and out of NXT. That's basically the point. So do you think this is true about them hiring? Are they doing a hiring freeze at this point?
You know how many times I've heard that WWE is not hiring any new talent?
and they keep hiring new talent.
Yeah, of course they
Yeah,
are. They
that's how
always
I
are.
feel,
They're
right.
just not hiring the people that are. They're just saying, whatever. They don't want you guys. Is what they're trying to say. Like anybody
Right.
that they don't post a job opening like needed one
No.
wrestler. Like of course not.
No way.
This. Ain't no Indeed wrestlers.
Imagine that. Come for a job interview.
Yeah, just whatever. This is my LinkedIn. Like I wrestle. Like you interested? No. They already know who you are if they're interested. That's the whole point. They have scouts for that. So they don't need you to apply for jobs.
I know
You might have to apply for office jobs, but wrestling jobs? No. You don't just send in your application, dude. And they already had a version of that anyway from the days of VHS tapes of like this is my tape. This is my 8x10, Like whatever. This is me, and now we have more sophisticated means of getting it out there, but they're also probably got their eyes on you because yes, they do have enough people right now.
Don't you miss the good old days like in the 80s when people said they had to take their headshots to the promoters and shit like that?
He just mentioned that the VHS tapes.
And the VHS tapes, you had to really sell yourself. Now you don't have to sell yourself because you got Twitter, you got TikTok, you can actually you can edit your own great shit and then just send it out and see what happens. But, with people like Regal scouting indie talent. And then, of course, WWE still has, I don't know if they still have the NIL deals. So they try to get the cheapest possible of athletes, quote unquote, from the college ranks. So it is what it is to create and mold their own vision of wrestling.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So, back in the day, let's use this as an example. Things are all different now because of what you said. There's so many more avenues for people for entrepreneurship. So once upon a time, if you wanted to, like, let's say, be a reporter, right? You had to go to school. You had to finish high school. You had to go to college. You had to take journalism classes, get a degree. Hopefully you could get a job at a local paper. You work your way up. Maybe you could get to a national paper. Maybe, you could actually be a respected columnist one day. Like you used to have steps that you would take to go do that. And during that, you got an education. Not only did you get an education in the school, but then you got an education in the business of, news, journalism, reporting, ethics, these things that you had to do, that you had to do the legwork. Guys like, Stephen A. Smith that came up from, being a reporter, a local reporter, and then now being like a national worldwide figure and just talking about whatever he wants to talk about now. He earned that through the work that he did as a younger man, right? Well, those days are gone. Now you don't need to take any classes. You don't need to have any education. If you want to report whatever you want to report on, you just start your own website and you can put whatever bullshit you want on it because freedom of speech. So you could just do whatever you want and you don't have to do the work. Wrestling's the same thing. You could just be a backyard wrestler and then just start booking yourself on shows and lying and saying who you were trained by. Now they did that back in the day too. But it's even more so now where you have the reach. You could make the back in the day when you would do that, you would only have to convince the promoter that you were trained by somebody and that you were worth hiring. Right. But now, and nobody else would see that except that guy. But now you can make a whole highlight reel of yourself, making it look, and everybody can see, oh, look at this. You could create a whole underground buzz for yourself on some bullshit. Right. And then you could trick people into thinking, hey, this guy's pretty good and get a tryout or whatever.
I think it's been done quite a few times in the past.
Yeah, those people won't stand up to scrutiny, but the point is that these things can happen now. So WWE, like I said, they're aware of who they want already because there's people in the company whose job it is to look for that. Regal is usually a guy they would send out, like for one example. I don't know who else, but different people at different times. They would always have Jerry Briscoe looking at amateurs, right? And reporting straight to JR with the Oklahoma connection, right? Like that's how they would do that back
as well, right?
So like they already know. They don't need your little sizzle reel. They don't need your YouTube short of your moves. They don't need any of that stuff now. They already know who you are. Now, the only thing that's weird about everything that you guys said is we didn't know that. We already know what Dave's doing in regards to AEW. So why he would put it out there that that's actually going on, like that seems like he's snitching on him. I don't know why he would say that, because he does everything he can to spin things positively for AEW. So I'm not sure why he would publicly say that, if that's what he said. I'm just taking Jimmy's word for it.
I'm just reading the dirt sheets, so I'm just saying, and that's what it says according to Bouncer. So I'm pretty sure that's legit.
And especially like back in the day, I mean, the first kind of example of what Bet's talking about, like the technology. Remember, like the Tough Enough back in the 2000s, like they skipped the pipeline. They skipped paying the dues as long as you did the MTV shit show like that. Even the Miz had to go through certain like shit in the real side of wrestling, but he paid his dues officially. And then Miz is one of those great examples. He didn't skip. Well, he kind of skipped the pipeline too, but then he took a lot of shit for it. Yeah, and he earned their respect.
One thing about that though, obviously the Tough Enough was for its own thing to be like, well, this is just more content for us, right? Before we were calling everything that, right? But just because you applied for Tough Enough didn't mean that some people were skipping the line. For sure, they had no experience, right? The Miz wasn't one of those people. He was already a pro wrestler when he was on the Real World. So maybe he didn't have that much experience, but he was going to be doing that no matter what. And one of the reasons he succeeded is because he had already put himself on that path, and he was using the Real World to help his wrestling career, So guys with those ambitions, they are going to have a leg up over the guy that's just on the couch and sends in the VHS tapes like, well, I'm big, I should be a wrestler. Those people don't generally work out. People like the Miz do. But yeah, there were a lot of people that had already been wrestling, but they just saw Tough Enough as a way to like, well, I'm, you're asking, so I'm offering.
Right. No, well said.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in still sticking with WWE news, apparently WWE shareholder lawsuit against Vince McMahon over his WWE return in 2023, and of course the sale to Endeavor update. So get this: Post Wrestling and WrestleNomics Brandon Thurston reported that a Delaware court judge issued a ruling on Friday ordering WWE directors and officers sued over the sale of the company and TKO merger to turn over documents related to federal investigations into the McMahon's conduct. Thurston also reported that the court had rejected arguments from attorneys for the defendants, including WWE President Nick Khan and Chief Content Officer Paul Levesque, that the material was irrelevant and was already produced or was requested too late. In regards to the documents, Vice Chancellor J. Travis Laster of the Delaware Court of Chancery had ordered that the WWE executives and TKO must produce documents and communications previously provided by them or their agents in the U.S. Department of Justice and Securities and Exchange Commission during those investigations. These investigations revealed around the multi-million-dollar non-disclosure agreements, NDAs for short, that McMahon had signed with several former female employers that became public in 2022. There's more to this, but what do you think is going to happen here? Is Vince going to get screwed somehow for doing that hostile takeover event? Do you think there's a chance somehow? I don't know what can possibly happen in this. Does he get a fine? Does he get locked up? I have no idea, but do you think he's going to get in trouble because of this?
Oh, he's already in trouble.
Well, yeah.
The question is, what can they make stick?
That's what I mean.
Everything that they said he did it. And he did a bunch of stuff they're not even saying he did that they don't know. Right?
That's true.
The question is, can they nail him? That's the only question. So it's definitely possible, but as we've seen, just getting sentenced, or convicted of crimes and felonies and stuff, that doesn't necessarily mean that that actually holds up or that we have to follow through with that. So
actually,
it's
Liz probably hit the nail on the head. They'll probably get paid out from the company.
Yeah, because what they're alleging is that this whole thing was gimmicked. Like, we already knew we were going to do the sale to Endeavor, and we didn't even give opportunities for other companies to outbid, something that could have been more beneficial to the shareholders,
Right.
And you're kind of seeing, you're not saying it's the same thing, but like just something relevant else that we're talking about where people are bidding for stuff. You have this whole Warner Brothers thing with Netflix and Paramount, and how, they're going to, that Netflix is trying to reject, Warner Brothers is trying to reject the Paramount offer, even though it sounds like the better offer.
Right.
These things of like, it's basically just this is the whole thing that you get when you have, it's like money as a concept is already fake, and then you've added faker money on top of that, as far as like stocks and things like that. It's like it's even more imaginary now. So when you have all this stuff and all these moving parts and everything, then everything becomes about, oh, well, the shareholders, and you could use the shareholders as an excuse. Well, the shareholders don't like this. It's like, well, what does that mean? Who are we talking about here? So, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here. Some of it seems like it's not even related to each other. I mean, you're talking about sale of a company,
Yeah, I don't understand that part. What's the
you're talking
problem
about
there?
the sale of a company, and that being like some sort of fraudulent practice or whatever.
Right.
But then you're also talking about his NDAs and his personal money, which, yeah, there's kind of a connection. There's a tenuous connection there, but necessarily they're not like linked together. I mean, if he needed money to pay off NDAs and stuff, you would think he would want to shop around for the best deal. It's like, I don't know what all these things are trying to say. It's definitely above my pay grade. I'm just a wrestling analyst.
No, but you actually explained pretty well, I think. But even I don't understand what's going on. Prof, you're the professor here. Do you even understand what's going on here? Is there a chance? Because Vet made me just think about something. Because they've lumped in this sale as well with TKO, and for whatever reason, I don't know what their problem is with that. But is there a chance possibly that, because Vince, when he done the hostile takeover, he came in to sell a company, basically. That's what his excuse was. But because a lot of the shareholders claim it was illegally done and whatnot, is there a chance that possibly TKO can get stripped of WWE? Maybe? Because the sale was not in void because of Vince coming in doing that? No chance.
No
All
chance.
right.
Like Vince's song, no chance in hell for that. That shit has already been long done. The question right now is, what is the end game, and what would we define as justice? Because first and foremost, it was about, the sexual harassment, all the sexual misconduct and shit like that. Then when you cross reference with shareholder stock fraud and shit like that, I mean, you can even talk about like Netflix and Warner Brothers is what's going on there, and then Paramount. It's the same bullshit. What's done is done. From that's a different kind of court, we could say. We could talk about that, could be the SEC, but if we're going to focus on the Vince McMahon stuff, then this is a battle of attrition, and Vince McMahon's got a lot of money from the sale that he did to TKO to fight the complaints and all that stuff. So it's going to go on. It's going to drag on for maybe another year or two. And it's a battle of attrition of resources and lawyers' fees and shit like that. And then probably at the end of the day, it'll probably get settled out of court. I mean, do people, again, what's the end game? You want Vince in jail? I mean, for the last, since 2016, I don't want to get political and I'm not going to say anything, but you've heard things like lock her up and shit like that. No, nobody's locked up. People want people in jail. Are they in jail? No, they ain't in jail. So again, what's the end game? It's a battle of attrition on that shit.
Yeah. Nobody's these people don't go to jail. Okay. But they can be ruined, at least as far as like, but that's the thing. Like, he's already, even if we forgot about everything, I mean, Vince McMahon has already been disgraced out of the public eye, and like every time we talk about him, like we're laughing at him.
No, but because I've seen a whole Twitter storm of people saying we want Vince because of what Triple H has done for WWE booking.
Yeah, it's just a thing to say
for Vince to come back.
It's just a thing for people to say, but that's like a small. I'm just talking about everybody else. Like, whenever he shows up in public with the skunk haircut, people are like, oh, they're laughing at him. They're saying, he looks like oh my God, he looks like a reanimated corpse, or like whatever the things that there's all this makeup he's wearing, the stupid mustache, like all these things, like he's just a joke now. You know, there's no remnants of like that proud, powerful guy that he projected himself as for all those years. Now he's just a crippled old joke and everybody's laughing at him. You know, he was forced to sell the company, you know, whether he wanted to or not. That just was going to happen. And I also like to point out one other thing. Just very coincidental, because there's so many things that have happened over the past almost 10 years. Like as far as this stuff is, you know, goes back to the allegations and everything. And obviously allegations go way back to the 80s. Right. But even just concentrating on the stuff from like the past decade or so, there's been so many little details of things like that. If we could somehow organize them and put them all together, things would make a lot more sense. And my brain just doesn't hold on to that. It's just like a sieve. It just runs out eventually. I can't maintain it because I can't be bothered. But I was just thinking about this. It reminded me, you know, right before all this shit with Vince, like really, like when it looked like the knives were really out for Vince, do you remember that right before this, Jerry McDevitt suddenly decided it was time to retire? Kind of like Vince in the tweet. Well, time to retire. Like, you don't think that Vince would have wanted the guy that's been through by his side through thick and thin for all these allegations, for all these decades, or if you don't think he would have been like, one last job, Jerry, one last job. You don't think he would have wanted that? If Jerry said, I'm retiring rather than do this, that means he knows there's no hope. So whatever fucking fraud
100%.
lawyers that Vince McMahon comes up with, they have even less hope because they don't even know where all the bodies are buried like Jerry does, right? And Jerry said, I won't even do this. So just so you know, like, think about things like that. Like when you want to read between the lines of like whether, you know, when people are talking about who's guilty, is he guilty, is he not guilty or whatever. When you read between the lines, you have all the answers and things like that and many others. That's just one that I remembered. But there's been so many other things, like when you look at the timeline of things. Yeah, so that's why my original answer to your question, Jimmy, was it's not, you know, it's not whether he did it or not. He did. It's just, can they make it stick? Can they prove it?
Right. And I don't even see them. I don't see anything like that stick. But you're right about McDevitt, though. McDevitt, perfect, because he got him out of shit all the time. He was their super lawyer. He's super lawyer, and he truly was a super lawyer, man. I mean, the amount of shit he got him off is just amazing. But anyway, let's get into other news now. Did you guys check out John Cena's interview with Cody Rhodes in the What Do You Want to Talk About interview? No?
Nope.
Do you guys want to talk more Cena, or should I just move on from that?
I mean,
oh well, I know. Look,
you mean the part about that he explained why he smiled when he tapped? Is that what you want to talk about?
I'm not sure because there's a bit here, but this is what he said on a recent episode of What Do You Want to Talk About with Cody Rhodes. It features Cena as the guest, and one of the topics discussed included Cena's thoughts about the epiphany he had the day prior to his retirement match for his wrestling career. This is what he said. The epiphany was crazy, right? And it's just an example of like, let's never stop learning. This is Friday. I get this like, holy shit, I found a way to say what I'm actually feeling. I was just reading through a book and it was just about the ability to have fierce conversations. And you want to let everybody contribute. You want to have conversation. And they were talking about the power of the pause and the silence, essentially slowing down. It's those moments where you do action. It's your piece of the conversation, and then you slow down to allow the arena to have their piece of the conversation. I'm like, holy shit. I think I can finally articulate what's up here to a Javon Evans at 21 years old. Be like Javon. If I talk to you for like 45 minutes, you're not going to care. But if we can talk, and if you can tell me what's on your mind, and I can talk to you, then maybe we both walk away having grown a little bit. Just make sure you do that in your matches. You know what I'm saying? Where I don't have to say, slow down, kid. You're going too fast. That immediately puts you on the defensive, And he goes again, slow down. You can't keep up, old man. It's not about that. You're going to feel it when you feel it. But now you got a chip on your shoulder to prove me wrong and prove working fast is going to work. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying, just make sure you always have a conversation with them out there. And that happened the day before I retired. So what I love about this is that you're learning all the time. Excuse me. So, Prof, I'll go to you first. So what I got.
Wait, the fuck was that? That sounded like Grok. That's not like ChatGPT.
Well, he is Grok these days. Let's be honest. I mean, it's shit.
Oh my god!
But what I got out of that, I'm assuming he's telling all the flippies to slow the fuck down, right? I mean, that's essentially what he's getting.
He just figured that out.
He just figured it out, right? But why did you have to go on such a long sort of tangent?
We went on a ChatGPT tangent just to say, "Slow down, kid." That's all you need to say. Jesus Christ.
That's funny because J12 said it. Someone on YouTube comments said that Cena and Cody was like Gemini and ChatGPT having a combo.
I agree with J12. If he saw that shit, I mean, I'm looking at you, Jimmy, reading this shit. And I'm like, dude, all I could just say, and I'll look at it from this standpoint. I think being the old guard that he is, he doesn't want to disrespect the young kids, right? So, he's trying to say it in a respectful manner to slow down because, again, as we've heard from the side and, from the sicko side and the AEW side and from the experiences of CM Punk trying to be that kind of old guard saying don't do certain shit. But Punk said it in a more disrespectful manner. And then the young kids are like, fuck you, Punk. Who are you? So that's the thing. I think Cena's trying to find a nice balance to saying slow the fuck down with being respectful, because again, he's seen what other people from another organization have gone through. Cry Me a River, remember that? So it's the same thing. So it depends on how you articulate it and how respectful you can be, and where the young guy can actually apply that and say, yes, I understand what you're talking about. And I didn't need Grok to say this. That's all it is. I didn't need Grok.
I watched it. He really did say that. So I'm just saying.
No, but I mean, that's the thing. Like Cody and John are both guys that like take a long, long way around to get to the point sometimes.
Well, I'll be honest. Cody looked like he was ready to fall asleep. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, he's tired of Cena too. We all are. We just go away. You had your last match and here you are with Cody on a podcast for however long. Get lost. Get lost. We're done. So anyways, yeah, like I don't know what that word salad was supposed to taste like, but I just didn't understand anything he was talking about. It's funny too that he brought up the name of Javon Evans in that, right? As I'm sure it was just as an example, but it's interesting that he chose that because, Javon Evans doesn't have the problem of needing to slow down. The problem it's not even a problem with Javon Evans. It's just, he does things, right? He'll do like a spectacular leap or a dive or something. And people will be like, wow, that's pretty spectacular. But he's not the kind of guy that just goes from spot to spot. He knows he knows how to slow down and sell. He's wise beyond his years and his experience. So he's not even the guy that you would say that about, in my opinion. And I've been watching Javon since he came to NXT at least. So I wouldn't even put him in that category with some of those guys or the guys that we'll be talking about later. So I did find that as funny, but there's always been a problem with, the veterans. They make, it's like a perpetual cycle from one generation to the other, and they all make their own bed, and then they don't like having to lie in it when they've made their bed. Like they'll tell you like, oh, the young kids don't come up to me anymore. I wish Hammer was here today. The young kids don't come up and ask for my advice anymore. Yeah, because when they used to come up and ask for your advice, you'd be like, hey, get out of, you think you're over? Get out of here, kid. Like you would treat them like shit or treat them like they were bothering you, right? And then enough times that people get used to not asking for advice anymore because they're tired of getting shit on. And then now people are like, well, no one ever asked for advice anymore. Yeah, because of you. Because you were trying to protect your spot and you were trying to withhold information and gatekeep or any other phrases that you want to say for like, I got to look out for number one. I don't have a responsibility to raise the next generation. I got to make my money. That was the attitude of all these guys, right? So of course the young kids are going to, even if they want to ask for advice, sometimes they don't. Right. It was very rare that even in my position when I would be able to ask people for advice, because one, I didn't even know what to ask. I didn't know anything. So how do I know what to ask? Like, how do I know what to improve on if I don't know anything? And then when I'd see other people do it in front of me, and I'd see how they get treated just for asking a simple question, or even just introducing themselves, you get the side eye. Like, even though they tell you go shake everybody's hand, and then you'll go shake somebody's hand and be like, like that whole thing. So yeah, this is just it's only going to get worse as time goes on, because now it's going to be these kids that don't ask for advice, they're going to become the veterans, sadly. You imagine Jungle Jack Perry as the veteran that you got to ask for advice. What the fuck is he going to tell you? Yeah, it's like, you know what, if you push hard enough you can use real glass. Like, what's his advice gonna be? I don't understand. Like, so yeah, we're all
it's the circle of life, guys. It's the circle of life, because when you're young and you think you know everything, then you don't want the advice, right? Then when you get a little bit wiser, and then the age reality kicks in, father time kicks in, then you'd be like, look, I need to give something back. But then, just like Vet said, people remember how you was, your reputation, and you try to hold on to something. They don't want to. They think you're going to disrespect them. So why should I mess with you and try to articulate with you and try to gain knowledge from you? So, you reap what you sow sometimes.
Yeah. Is what it is.
Now, as for J12 asking, he said, which WWE top guy was a dick to me, if any, back then, or to anyone close to you? I mean, people close to me, I laundry list. But as me personally, I didn't really. People weren't really not that I can think of. CM Punk was weird. He wasn't specifically a dick to me. He was kind of weird about certain stuff. And I was like,
that's funny. Like, you say CM Punk is weird, and now we can all say, yeah, it kind of makes sense.
No, it doesn't. It actually makes sense.
I'm not like flabbergasted. I'm not like, really, Vet. No, I'm like, you said CM Punk, Vet. Yeah, I got it.
He's a weird cat, though, when you think about it, right? He doesn't give those vibes.
It was just because he didn't want to go to OVW. He didn't want to. So he was probably already mad that he had to be there. So like, so I don't know, but he didn't do anything like dickish to me, but he did do dickish things to people I knew. So I was like, okay, that's one. Cody was always nice. You didn't have a problem with him.
I've heard nothing but good stories about Cody usually.
Yeah, he's weird too, though. There's
that was great.
I don't know. John Cena, like I've heard, not to me,
right?
People I know.
A lot of stories about that. Obviously, it was John.
Yeah, if you can imagine a top guy, they were probably a dick. Yeah. Doesn't matter who it was. It could be Edge, Shawn Michaels around that time, like Ric Flair, Triple H, whatever. Like, if you can imagine a top guy, they're probably a dick. Undertaker was cool with everybody, it seems. He's like the only guy that I would say universally nobody had any dick stories about the Undertaker, but anybody else, definitely a bunch of stories. So just assume everyone.
Interesting.
And as far as the Tony Atlas bit with, no, I was there, but I wasn't in the building. I mean, that was during my time there, but I missed it that night. I wasn't there that night. I wish I was, because it sounds funny. And the way they all tell the story, I heard someone tell me the story, and then I heard Punk himself tell the story, and like everybody agrees that that's pretty much how the story went.
Was it a story of some sort? Like, wasn't it a dick story or some shit?
No.
What
do you mean a dick? Not like a penis, but I mean like, no, it was. If you don't know the Tony Atlas and CM Punk story from OVW, by all means, this is not for our podcast. This is for you. Go find that. Go find the like the wrestle. What's Conrad's thing? WrestleCade or not WrestleCade?
Oh,
Wrestle
yeah,
something.
no. I get you, I know what
Starcade?
you're talking about.
No, Starcast?
No,
Starcast.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, whatever that interview was that he did before he came back to AEW, go listen to him tell that story. It's hilarious.
I've heard like bits and pieces of it, but obviously I'm a bit off. But yeah, I'll check it out for sure. But anyway, where were we? Is that it? About anything else? Did you want to answer?
No, I don't think so. I think I got it.
Oh well, before we get into,
I was waiting for like Big Show or something like that. Or, but anyway, go on.
Never came across the Big Show.
Well, I know we've
Somehow.
been into the stories for a long time, right? At this point, but we got to talk about one more thing at the very least because it's a joke, in my opinion. But did you guys check out the Sports Illustrated Pro Wrestling 2025 awards? Anybody?
What? That's a thing?
The Sports, well, and listen to this when I tell you the awards, all right? So, Sports Illustrated came out with their list of winners for their Pro Wrestling Awards for this year. So, Storyline of the Year is number one.
Oh, wait. Was this the one with where they voted Hangman as like the
Yeah.
Oh, okay, exactly right. I did see it a little bit.
All right, so I'm going to read them out, right? So, and I want you guys to like laugh or agree with it or whatever, right? So, Storyline of the Year is Hangman Adam Page. His redemption arc is the storyline of the year. Redemption arc.
One in the laugh column.
Yeah, seriously? Like, really?
Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, we're all laughing. We're all having a good time. I do want to ask though,
right.
not as a rhetorical question. I really want to know what was the best storyline. Because 2025 sucked. That's actually like really bad question. As far as like storylines concerned. So, what would you guys say was actually better or the best?
See, I don't want to give out because we are going to do an end of year show. If you guys want to join me, even Big Ray could be part of it as well for the HMG Awards, which will be sometime during the week. But I will say this, I'm not going to say this is the winner for me, but the Punk Seth Rollins storyline was better than that, in my opinion.
I guess that was this year.
Right, it was, at the start of the year. Am I wrong, or maybe I'm off? Prof, am I right or wrong about that? Because I can't even tell anymore.
I think you're right. It's just the execution was, their execution was bad. That's what it was. But it was the best, I guess, story of 2020.
I'm not trying to be biased either. I truly believe that was my favorite one this year.
Well, my brain is keep bleeding back into 2024 when it started.
I know, that's what I'm worried about.
So I can't remember what was actually. I know most of 24 was him and Drew also. Right. But there was sort of like a triangle between those guys.
It was a sprinkle in 2024 of it, and then it kind of reciprocated. It kind of like went crazy in 2025 with the debut of Netflix. No, you're not wrong.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They amplified from there.
Yeah, and like you said, the execution wasn't always the greatest. I definitely wouldn't have. That SummerSlam thing, I definitely would have done that differently. But the storyline is just I hate you. That's not even like really a. That's not really storyline either.
But let's be honest, wouldn't the Cena heel turn really be the storyline of the year and the worst storyline of the year when you think about it?
As a kayfabe and as a shoot.
Literally, yeah. You know what I mean? So the fact that they chose this shit is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? So that's just a preview of.
I'm still waiting for the redemption. What redemption did he have? It wasn't a redemption because it wasn't what redemption because he won a tournament to win the title.
Well, that's all right. It gets better.
Because what is the redemption? Because if they did it right, like we said weeks ago on this platform, I would have said that Darby Allin overcoming the Death Riders to win the title, which he was supposed to have in All In,
which didn't happen.
Which didn't happen. Would have been the best story of 2025. If I had an award show, which I do, and that would be coming out later, but no, don't need to hear into that. But I'm just saying. But keep going with this list. Keep going.
All right. Well, get this. It gets even better because we got rivalry of the year. Take a guess, both of you, just one guess, and I'll answer it. What do you think?
Swerve and Hangman, right?
I kind of saw the list. I think it was Hangman and Moxley. Hangman and Moxley won.
That was a rivalry.
That was the rivalry of the year. You get
he's just the guy with. I thought he was just the guy with the belt. I didn't really think it was a rivalry per se.
Well, according to Sports Illustrated, it was definitely a rivalry. So next, We got heel turn of the year. Anyone want to take a guess?
I already know who did it. I already know who won.
Oh, so you know? All right.
I know.
Well, if it ain't John Cena,
It's definitely not John Cena. It is Naomi. Would you put that as the anyway? We won't even talk about that. There's no point.
They confused heel turn with heel run. That's what it was. Because they
great point.
That's the problem. Because she betrayed. Was it a betrayal? Because that betrayal happened in 2024 when no one knew who took out Jay Cargill.
Right.
Just like you say. So it amplified an elimination chamber, and then Jay Cargill, answered who attacked her, and that was Naomi. But it wasn't really like everybody was expecting it was going to be Naomi and shit like that. A heel run. That's
all right, boys.
That's a different story.
It just seems like this is just a rage bait answer. There's no way that her all she did was what everybody does, which is turn for no reason and then make up an excuse later. And can like Professor said, heel run. I mean, she immediately had to cancel this run. So like you can't even most of 2025 she hasn't been around, it seems like. So it's like
right.
How can you say that when you got nothing out of it? Or you had to abruptly end it. Meanwhile, even if we are just talking about the moment, like before we knew everything was going to completely suck, at least the heel turn for John Cena was shocking.
Right. That's
nobody was shocked about Naomi's heel turn. Like, and it didn't mean anything. Like she's just not a person that means as much as John Cena in the business. So it actually doesn't, but I don't even know why I'm trying to like litigate this dumb Sports Illustrated list.
It gets even better. It sure does. Because best on the mic, this is going to be a great one. I know you already know this. Vet, if you had to think of any wrestler in 2025 that was the best on the mic, and I'm talking about women and males, who would it be? Take one guess.
I can't guess. I can only think of who I would say, but I can't say.
Yeah, you're gonna be wrong anyway. I promise you.
Who would you say? Who would you say?
Yeah, who would you say?
If when I look back at 2025 and even beyond, the one guy that never missed on the mic is Mark Briscoe, but he just not in the conversation of those kind of people ever. Because he's trying to make lemonade too much. Man, don't play that sad trombone. I told you that wasn't the answer.
I know, but it's gonna get funny when I tell you the answer though.
Yeah. So like
you will never think of this, put it that way.
Yeah, all right, well.
Tony Storm.
I mean, do we give RJ City an honorary?
They should at this point. Why not?
Like she ridiculous. Went out there and cut all those promos without him writing it for her.
Dude, look, Tony's great, whatever. I'm sick of her, to be honest, right? But she's not that crash on the mic. She's all right.
Whoever these people from Sports Illustrated are that voted, supposedly, guys, $5 a month for the Observer. That's all it is.
It's worse than the Observer, and I keep thinking that's really bad, but this.
Well, it's also more like when they reached out to WWE for comment, it was declined many times, so they were like, "All right, fine."
And just quietly, I like how the chat is interacting about this too. Keep interacting with us because you guys will get it all wrong. So, and now also best in the ring for the year. Anyone? Any guesses?
Yeah, best in the ring. That was obviously Alex Reynolds.
I actually would agree with that, but they didn't pick that one.
It was Will Ospreay. He's the best in the ring for the year. Okay, get this.
Too bad he's been out of the ring for a big chunk of the year too.
I know, literally.
I'm so good in the ring, I broke my neck and had to leave.
Well, speaking of breaking necks, I probably gave a hint for saying that. Well, no, I gave a hint. You understand what I mean. But breakout star of the year. Anyone?
Kyle Fletcher.
Exactly. Yes. Didn't you see? I knew you'd get it. Spot on, bro. That's exactly who it was. I'm glad you got that. That was awesome because It's true. So that's that. But comeback performer of the year. This is even retarded too. Any guesses, man? I can give you a hint,
And they
but then it's too
got
obvious.
it wrong for comeback of the year.
Badly wrong.
Because even the definition, because again, when we can all think of it, whether you like it or not, when you actually define comeback, you actually saw it. Rich Holland, that would be a comeback story, right there, Liz. But the comeback of the year, and they didn't pick her vet, was AJ Lee because she came back.
She came back.
Legitly come back
for a legit pop.
Longest absence, biggest impact.
Right. So the winner they picked made no sense. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, it is Ilya Dragunov.
What?
As your comeback man of the year, man. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, this is
AJ Lee should have won a belt. That's what she didn't do.
She should have. It's true. Well, this is even better. This is gonna pop everybody here. Tag team of the year. Any guesses? You know what it is.
Are there tag teams? Are there tag teams?
They're tag team. Yeah, you know this answer 100%.
Do I?
You do.
Is the professor going to be happy with the answer?
He will be absolutely stoked. Oh, there's a fucking hint right there.
Hey.
Yeah. It's not the Hardys. Even at PWI put the Hardys as number one. Funny enough. But I guess it's FTR here, according to Sports Illustrated, unfortunately.
Now, Vet, to be fair here, while I might be happy with that one, I'm not satisfied because it's not truthful, especially for the tag team division. Because I will
Who
go
do you
with
think, who have you put?
Well, I'm going to give away my. Well, it would
give
away my
perspective.
That's
right.
But I'll
right.
give it away as a teaser.
Okay.
It's the Hardys. They're the tag team of the year. Because for the last 2 years of the Professor's Perspective Awards, the most objective awards out there, I've said this. If I gave a tag team an award, it would be with an asterisk because no tag team has really caught my eye for the last 2 years. But
it's true.
The Hardys, TNA tag team champions, NXT tag team champions, House of Glory tag team champions, the credentials are there at least for
retired the Dudleys.
Retired the Dudleys. Yeah.
True. No, you're right. I mean, well, PWI did put him number one. So there's that. And to be fair, as you say, actually, Prof, the tag team divisions everywhere have actually sucked. Like, really, like everywhere. But anyway, match of the year. This is great. This one's going to be the best. I mean, match of the year, and I'll give one hint. It's a WWE match, Vet, and you still won't guess it.
Then I won't try.
All right, so get this. It is your WWE Women's World Championship triple threat match between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair from WrestleMania 41. Match of the year.
A lot of people like that match.
That was good. It was a good match. But I'm not going to say it.
For women's matches, that even light a candle with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky from Evolution, number one. Number two, if we're getting into the match of the year concept, I mean, again, even for WrestleMania, that was even the best match of WrestleMania weekend. That's all I'll just say, because especially for intrigue and investment and stuff like that. Yeah, that might have stole the show for that moment for a little bit, but best match of the year, again. And looking at it from this standpoint, Vet, for SI, they were like, you know what, we gotta sprinkle some WWE love. So this way, because we want to pick Fletcher versus any Ospreay match would have been match of the year in their eyes, but they just didn't want to look biased.
Oh yeah, right.
Like they care about that with some of these other picks. Jesus.
Well, this is the last. We've only got 4 left now. So,
oh my God, we're really doing all this?
Yeah, because I want the shits and giggles. Yeah, pay-per-view of the year. Any predictions? Anyone?
No.
Double or Nothing 2025.
I don't even remember what matches were on that.
Neither do I. We reviewed it. But anyway,
I can't remember the difference between Double or Nothing or All In. Like, they're just names. Like, I don't remember which matches were on it.
I kid you not. I don't remember.
The only thing you can differentiate was one 5 hours, was one 4.5 hours, was one 4 hours and 45 minutes. That's the only differentiation of AEW pay-per-views.
Labrat says I had the mining razors used on me. He got tested. He can't remember anything for this year in wrestling.
He's been
Oh,
neuralized.
he gets like that. Yeah, neuralized indeed. All right, promotion of the year.
Yeah.
AEW, come on, of course.
I was going to say, Professor said earlier, House of Glory. There's no question.
Oh, it should have been. Female wrestler of the year. This one should be easy for the vet. Come on.
Yeah, it's got to be Stephanie, right?
Bam, bam. Sorry, it's actually.
Well, that's who it was. Who else?
Yeah, well,
It's your favorite.
unfortunately,
It'll make
it
you
is.
smile, Vet. It'll make you smile.
It will. It will make you smile. It's Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
I can
That's
agree
great.
with that.
But
That
we
I might
expected that
actually
from
agree
her.
with.
She's been
Right.
around forever. She's a world travel veteran, of course. It takes a lot more for somebody to go from obscurity to top of the company in such a short time.
Katie Anderson says Travis Scott. Unfortunately, not Katie.
For female. of the year,
Anyway,
yeah. Good.
And second last one, male wrestler of the year. Oh, this is easy.
Yeah, Hangman
You know who
Page,
it is.
obviously. He was redeemed.
By a mile, redeemed, bro. Hangman Adam Page. And last but not least, the
I would have given it to the
2025.
Rizzler.
Yeah. And last but not least, whatever this means, and I have no idea what it means, but the 2025 Legacy Award. Anyone?
That one I forgot actually because I didn't care about it.
How would I know who to guess it is?
It was John Cena.
Okay.
It should have
Sure.
been Miss Mortos for sure. But it was.
Okay.
Anyway, that was that. And we can go into more stuff, but I'm not because we've gone over an hour of talking news and it's time to put gloves on. So whatever we've missed, I'm sure other shows will cover. So Vet, get your gloves ready and let's get sifting because there's a bit of sifting again.
Okay. Well, obviously, I have no problem with speed running this. As if
Go
everybody
for it.
else is
Be
cool
my
with
guest.
it.
I won't even comment as much unless I want to.
Especially because I got a little bonus for you guys. Not only did we get Dynamite, not only did we get Collision on 2 different nights, but we also got the AEW Dark Stocking Stuffer.
Oh,
did you guys see
heard
this?
about that, and I heard that Dark is coming back, Vet, also.
Dark.
Yeah, Dark. What does that mean? Does that mean we have... Apparently we have to cover that, I got told.
Dark is back.
Told.
I thought it was a one and done.
That's what I got told.
I thought it was a one and done. Hopefully.
No, yeah, hopefully.
Well,
I'm
after this, it will be, because check out, this is what was on the menu.
Right.
Isla Dawn versus Marina Shafir.
Yes.
Okay.
Great match.
I know you guys sad you missed it. Marina surprisingly went over with her titty suck maneuver.
Ugh, I hate that move. I hate that move bad.
Then we got a wonderful 6-man tag match with our trios match, excuse me.
Oh.
We gotta use the correct terminology, right?
A trios match, shall we?
With Mark Andrews teaming up with Kid Lycos 1 and 2.
Who the fuck? Who's Mark Andrews and Kid who?
Well, you know Mark Andrews. You know Mandrews. Remember Mandrews?
Oh, Mandrews. That's right. I remember now.
Yeah.
Sure. I do.
These guys are taking on Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, and Mascara Dorada.
Ooh,
of course.
Very elegant. That's an elegant match.
Yeah. Yeah. And Roderick Strong hits the end of Heartache on the Lycos. I don't remember which number it was, but there was one with a mask and one without.
Oh, that's different.
And he beat the guy with the mask.
So. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was that move called again? His finisher? What was it called?
The end of Heartache.
I wish he did that to me, just quietly.
Yeah.
So I could end me right now.
Yeah.
And all the heartache. But anyway.
Well, he would have wanted to do it to you right here because the main event is going to feature some favorites of yours. The
awesome.
grizzled young veterans.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They're back. Oh my god.
Oh,
They never left. They just work on Thursdays, I guess.
If there's a tag team I truly hate, it's them. Yeah.
And they've got a partner named Nathan Cruz. And they're taking on the Death Riders. the Wheeler Yuta, Pac, and John Moxley edition. They put the
Wow.
brutalizer on this Nathan Cruz kid.
Oh, wait,
They
wait,
should.
Vet. At least before we, I know you want to speed through this. Did at least the Death Riders give us that friction yet? Please tell me. Christmas.
No, they
Christmas time?
just beat these guys. It was a get over match with no friction. They just beat them.
These sickos keep telling me, wait, Professor, they're gonna beat up John Moxley. I'm just like, are they gonna show a little bit of a glimpse on TV? Oh God.
No. Well, just stop talking to them. I don't know why they keep telling you this. All right. Well, anyway, Dynamite Holiday Bash. Kicking off strong with a Blue League match.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong, literally strong, versus John Moxley.
What a freaking long match this was.
Yeah.
It went forever and ever and ever. And of course, Moxley won, right?
Of course, Moxley won with the Death Rider. Yeah, so back to his winning ways. He's finally got some points on the board here. John Moxley.
I'll just say this because, like I said last week, I want to reiterate it. Is I think Tony Khan wants to kind of give flowers to everybody and keep the scores as close as possible because the genius booking of Tony Khan we're gonna see play out for probably the next Dynamite Collision extravaganza. Maybe it goes into World's End because if you're gonna get like 4 people maybe tied up in the blue and gold leagues, what we're gonna do? Can't have again, a 5-hour pay-per-view is a 5-hour pay-per-view. So are you going to do singles matches or are you going to do 3 ways, 4 ways? Because you got to sift through this. It's like the Wreckage. You got to sift through all the madness and get a semifinals and a finals going.
Yeah. One of the advantages that the G1 has over this is like each block is like twice as long as, they have twice the amount of people in it. So like, there's a lot more clear people that have no chance of winning. But when you only have like a couple people in each block, it's like, well, they're all kind of close together now. So,
and just quietly, Jeff Libby's in the house. What's up, Jeff? He says, how is Roddy Strong still on TV? It beats me.
Well, he's got a nice physique there.
Pal.
He's got a wife in the main event scene. So,
That's right.
Full stroke.
Right. Eddie Kingston cuts a promo. He says, you either win or you learn. And I guess he learned.
That he can't win.
Yeah, he learned that. Then we get the big match of the Don Callis family versus the Elite for the $1 million.
$1 million?
And they still haven't spent the goddamn money.
And this match went again for forever, man. Why are they giving us like 30-minute bangers, apparently? 2 matches in a row.
Just trying to...
Well, remember, Jimmy, they're in Manchester, so they'll appreciate a 20-minute banger, too. As long as the crowd is happy, too.
True.
Well, again, look at that. Well,
Were they there?
again, I'm very objective. They were in Manchester, England. Whether we like the booking or not, the crowd was into it. They were cheering. They were hollering. Sure. They were waving their hands, especially for the Elite and shit like that.
Look, all right. It wasn't bad for a trios match, whatever it is. But it just lost me once it went just a little too long, man. I almost started falling asleep, to be fair.
Well, of course, actually not of course. I mean, nobody could have predicted this, but they give the assisted one-wing angel to Hechicero. And so the Elite gets their $1 million, which I still contend should be, it was already rightfully theirs. They shouldn't have had to win it back. It's, and then, afterwards, the family gets some heat, and Okada and Takeshita hit their finishers on the Bucks, and then Kenny comes in with a broom and chases everybody away, and he gets the money, and then they have the money. Yay.
Would it have been so funny for entertainment purposes that the Bucks get this money and just throw it out to the fans with all the pomp?
I want someone to steal the money.
They did. The Don Callis family actually stole the money, Jimmy.
Sort of.
The money.
But it was their money too, though, per se.
No, it wasn't.
No, are you talking about
TK's money? It's TK's money.
Oh, well, you know what I mean.
You could have stopped payment.
We have no idea what you mean. It's just, let's just keep going because no one cares. Shivani, speaking of no one cares, Shivani brings out Hangman, and I want to point out that as I'm typing my notes on my phone, my predictive text, when I type out Shivani, the next word is brings, the next word is out, the next word is Hangman. So I guess he brings out Hangman a lot. Yeah, that's real. Yeah, so then he brings out Swerve, and he also brings out Joe. They're there to sign the contract. I wrote down in my notes, what is Paige talking about that takes forever? Like he had this microphone for so long. I was just like, what are you talking about? Seriously, like objectively, like I know I shit on Paige all the time, but like even just trying to just listen to what he was saying, I was just like, why do you keep talking? You've already said everything. You're just saying it again now. Like you're just
same old.
I don't know.
Shit.
You know, like for example, one of the things he said was he went to Samoa Joe and said, like, you're worse than the Death Riders on their worst day.
Yeah, that really annoyed the heck out of me, which is a lot of shit. Right.
What is he talking about? What did Samoa Joe ever even do? I mean, in addition to all those terrible cinematic vignettes and shit that we've had to sit through the Death Riders, but they did try to kill people also.
But see,
Samoa Joe just had wrestling matches. That's it.
Right. He's a contradiction, dude, because he's best friends with the guy that went into his house and was playing with his kid and all that shit and burnt it and all that. Do you see
the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but keep your friends close and your enemies closer, Jimmy. That's what it is.
Oh, I see. I'll make sure that anyone that ever does that to me, I'll become best friends with anyway.
For a man with the highest redemption of 2025, he's for this interview.
It's not just us saying it. Sports Illustrated says it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank whoever you want to thank for MJF to come out here and shut all this off, because I couldn't listen to another word from these three.
Oh,
so
thank God.
Here he is. He's back. Yeah. Sorry, Jeff. No, there was no potential ever. He's just another cheese sandwich with butterfly pants.
2015. That's maybe.
Maybe.
I didn't mind him back then, like before AEW. But anyway,
who knew Hangman Page in 2015?
Probably not many, but I did. Shit.
And who would have looked at him with his little stupid curly hair and his rope and been like, "This is the future of wrestling."
And he covered his face.
He was getting his ass whipped by Roddy Strong in 2015 or 2014 in ROH, and now he's the men's world champion and fighting for the men's world champion. So, perseverance, paying your dues and stuff like that. But for this segment, guys, thank God for MJF. At least this shows
he drained it too, though, to be fair.
Yeah, but this just shows the value of MJF. And what MJF is smart enough to make at least, I don't want to say a boring segment, but he made a boring segment not boring because of his charisma, his pomp and circumstances, his cadence, his psychology, and especially with Samoa Joe there, who's been in this game for a long time, and Swerve, who's been through the pipeline of the Performance Center. You got to learn these things. And MJF just gets it. And that's why, I'm not going to say thank God, but at least for the faux pas of Tony Khan and trying to understand that he had that Money in the Bank contract and then had to give it back to him and then change the rules. At least for this purpose, the contract made sense. But he had to fuck up a storyline previously before he went away and probably did a Hollywood film and shit like that. So again, we can nitpick it all we want, but at least he used the contract the right way. He used the contract the right way.
Yeah. So, he had that contract. So he's cashing it in here. He's signing on the dotted line as after everybody else signed. And then he cut a promo on everybody.
But it was funny what he said about Joe, though, about the receding hairline and whatnot. But it's still, why say that?
Yeah, it's
cheap pop.
Yeah, it's just it wasn't even that, And Joe was also trying to throw MJF off, like when MJF's in his face and Joe is like not selling what he's saying and he's talking to him the whole time. He's just not playing along with it. So like, I understand he's trying to do, but it didn't work either way. So there was one other thing I was going to say. Oh yeah. Well, if MJF was going to come out here and do this, I think Paige should have talked for a lot less time. As a matter of fact, I would have liked if nobody said anything. And like,
right, because it's
right. MJF just interrupts the whole thing, and then after he gets through with everybody, Tony Schiavone's like, "I'm sorry, guys, he took up all the time. We have to go." And then everybody's just like, "What?" Like that would have been much more entertaining, and whatever. But
because to be honest, it took away from his promo a little bit, even though it was a good promo. It actually took away from it because it went too long.
Because everybody's already been sitting out there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
But and the other question I was going to ask you guys is like, what was up with his makeup? Like MJF looked like he hadn't slept in like 6 weeks. Like, but that was makeup on. So why did he look like that?
Maybe he came back from the trailer, the Hollywood trailer, and then he couldn't take the makeup off and had to make an appearance on the spot, on the fly. Had to fly on the red
Hollywood Manchester trailer.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take it.
We're Manchester Pro for crying out loud.
All right, let's see. Jet Speed cuts expository promos. Then we get the big 8-woman tag team affair of Mega Fear and Athena and Monet versus the Wrath Bombs. Yeah, whatever about this match. Obviously, I love Mercedes and Athena, but it's just, this is just a mess. Harley Camera still owns Megan Bayne though. Like if you watch this match, anytime Megan's in the ring, Harley Camera's beating her ass. That's basically it. And then everybody else has to sell for Megan Bayne like she's, She-Hulk or something. And then when Harley Camera gets in there, it's all offense. I'm not kidding, guys. Harley clotheslined Megan over the ropes.
That was ridiculous.
Clotheslined her over the ropes.
And can I just say one more thing about MJF quickly? He buried Swerve big time with what he said. That's one other thing I just wanted to point out. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay, then. But you said it anyway?
No, because you didn't mention about what he said about his WWE run.
He said he reminded him of P. Diddy with the chains on, so
Yeah, he called him P. Diddy, right? Exactly, and everyone's like Diddy.
I couldn't believe MJF actually said it.
Yeah,
not that it was shocking that he said P. Diddy, but because everybody already knew what he was talking about, I assumed he was just going to let them know what he was talking about without actually saying it himself. But I guess the kid still has other things to learn. Anyways, O-Face to Willow and Mercedes pins her, so that automatically makes you number one contenders. Gold League match, Pac versus Fletcher. Holy shit. Yeah. Once again, the neck breaker himself actually doesn't win this. Pac hits the black arrow on him, and 3 points for Pac.
And breaking news, SI Wrestling said this was the match of the year. They wanted to take away from the other match of the year. So
no, really?
Yeah. No, I'm just playing.
No, really. I was gonna say, man, I nearly fell for
you
that.
You can't joke like that, Professor, because Jimmy believes you.
No, because I don't know anymore, man. When it comes to
he doesn't understand deadpan. Apparently, they haven't. Their comedy hasn't evolved in Australia up to deadpan yet.
Just kidding.
No, wait. Sometimes he thinks she goes over my head, but it doesn't. Not all the time. At times it does. Don't get me wrong, but anyway.
But
this was probably the match of the night, though. I'll say that.
This match of the night, but it just proves my point. Like I said, I think Tony Khan wanted to keep the scores as close as possible, and then he's going to create a clusterfuck for the next Dynamite Collision in World's End because everybody's so close together to the vessel. You could have at least, arguably, with the Gold and Blue Leagues. How many are in this? Maybe 3 on both sides, 3 or 4 both sides being tied.
Yeah, it's a compelling television for this tournament, actually.
It doesn't have to be compelling. You have the 2 people you want to see in the finals. Just build it and make it make sense.
I know, that's it. They don't have to do this, right? I know, it's true.
The only thing
Okay.
that we need to worry about making sense is this Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, where
Mhm.
your two. I'm not even going to tell you all the people that were in this. I'm just going to tell you that the two finalists were Bandito and Ricochet. So
You
And
know what's funny,
Ricochet.
Brent? Maybe you could chime in on this because this is just me looking at it as a viewer. You're promoting this Continental Classic. This is one of the most prestigious tournaments of the year, but then the winner just gets the Continental title. You have the Dynamite Battle Royal, which you win the ring, but you get a bigger prize at the end. You get a title shot, a world title shot. So immediately, for me as a casual viewer, I hate to say that word, but you just shitted on the Continental Classic because your Dynamite Battle Royal is
I
more
know, dumb.
prestigious because the stakes are more higher. You just shitted on the 12 competitors in the Continental Classic. Why are you fighting for a third tier title when I should be in this Battle Royal fighting for what I want? The most money, the most fame, the most eyes on the prize, and that's the AEW World title. That's what I'm just saying.
They're applauding, Prof.
Thank you.
They're applauding. He's right. But if you point it out to the sickos, they won't even notice. They wouldn't have even noticed.
I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt, Jimmy. I'm saying as a casual
Right.
viewer, you just shitted on your tournament with a better, I guess, concept or a better gimmick because the stakes are more higher.
I'm with you 100%. That's a great point, as T.A. Cooper says also.
I guess the idea being that like, now I'm not defending anything, but I'm only pointing out a slight difference, which is if you win the Continental Classic, you win something. If you win the
Right.
Dynamite Battle Royal, you win a chance. So you could still fail, I guess, is the only
I
difference.
still rather that chance.
Guaranteed small prize, or, do you want to risk it all for what's behind door number 2 type thing? I guess that's the idea. Now you could quickly and easily fix this by saying not only do you win the Continental Championship if you win the Continental Classic, but you also, that automatically gives you a title shot at, say whatever pay-per-view they have. You could give that stipulation to the Continental Classic winner as well as the title. So if you wanted to make it as prestigious or more prestigious than the simple Battle Royal, then that would be one easy way to do it.
That's an easy fix. You're right.
But yeah. So anyway, Bandito and Ricochet. It's like, one of these men going to be the AEW champion? Like, you're already
happy if you say wins it.
You're already telling me that they're not, because neither one of these guys is. But
you know who they messed up? That I think Max Caster and Anthony Bowen should have been the final two, because at least you could have had something entertaining at least. And like you said, obviously, even whoever wins this battle royal, you get the ring for the year. That's fine and dandy. But then, like you said, there ain't no chance in hell, even with the players behind my back right now, they ain't gonna lose. They're not gonna lose that. Whoever winning at World's End is not gonna lose to the Dynamite Battle Royal winner. So I would have picked the better winners, more entertaining winners, as Max Caster and Anthony Boyce, because you're like, I gotta fight this guy just to get to this chance.
Yeah,
right.
Then you gotta have one of them. Yeah, then you gotta have one of them wrestle Samoa Joe, and no one wants that either. So, it's a tough spot that you put yourself in all by yourself. So, anyways, Moxley cuts a promo, yada yada. Blue League match.
Promo is a shit house these days, but anyway.
Orange Cassidy versus Mascara Dorada, even though they were just partners. Orange crucifixes him up for 3 points. There you go. Lexi is with Athena and Money. They challenge the Hussies of Wrath, and then Mercedes says,
wait, how many variations of the Wrath name you giving them? I've kind of like 4.
This was legit.
Oh, okay.
Athena has a catchphrase where she calls all of these women porcelain hussies.
Oh,
And
okay.
so in this promo, she actually called them the Hussies of Wrath. I can't take credit for this particular one.
I'm giving you credit. I think she stole it from you.
You give me credit for reading it off my notes after she said it. I did do that. I did read my own notes, but I give Athena that one. Quite frankly, she doesn't call enough people porcelain hussies when she gets her TBS time. So I'd encourage her to strongly get over. You may not know this, but also like Lexi is a minion, and Lexi has been folded into that storyline in Ring of Honor for the past 2 years as like where her and Billy Starks have been like, minion number 1 and minion number 2, like fluctuating over this period of time. And so Lexi has had she's had her share of abuse from Athena, but they don't really even, they can't convey all that in such a short amount of time. I think Athena had one throwaway line.
I'm still waiting for Billy's big break. She was supposed to have that great match against Mercedes during the year of 2025. I thought there was going to be more opportunities for Billy to be on Dynamite or at least Collision weekly, but I haven't seen that. And I'm still waiting for Billy to get over the hump, not only being minion number 1, but at least getting over on the forever champion of Ring of Honor. Long-term story.
I think she's currently minion like 4,152,364, but
yeah.
She's trying to work her way back up. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, they're not bringing, when, even if you have lesser watch programs, you still got to bring them on and carry over what you've been doing, assuming that everybody's been watching both. At least the people that watch Ring of Honor surely must watch AEW. Now, I know the reverse may not be true, but anybody that's been watching Ring of Honor deserves to have their investment paid off by acknowledging the characters and stories that they've been watching play out on Dynamite and Collision as well. That's just courtesy. So, but anyway, so Mercedes says that she's going to have an open challenge for her Rev Pro British Championship. So any British wrestler can get it. More on that later. Speaking of a British wrestler that can get it, Hayter versus Isla Dawn. Jamie Hayter versus Isla Dawn here. Haterade, obviously. Then the Triangle of Madness attack. Triangle of Madness.
Hey, it's not working. Why didn't it work? Hold on a second. Earlier. That was weird. It just
the Triangle of Madness.
Yep. So then Chris Statlander runs in and beats up all 3 of the Triangle by herself. And then in a very convoluted and awkward looking thing that they were trying to do, Jamie Hayter accidentally hits the Haterade on Chris Statlander.
Accidentally, huh?
Yeah. Oh, was it really an accident? Well, the way they went into it, they definitely look like an accident because it was sloppy as hell. So yeah. And then finally the main event, I can hand the reins over to Professor here. It's the Bang Club versus FTR, the greatest tag team of 2025. Floor is yours.
This is why FTR won SI Tag Team of the Year. They've carried this match. It's all about them. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, what else can I say? I mean, the FTR has been the best tag team since 2017, and they will not, relinquish that crown. Yeah, no. I'm just kidding.
Stop that. God damn.
I'm trying to make shit out of Shinola. I'm trying to make Shinola out of shit. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is what it is. But again, I kept saying it's like we're waiting for the right people to come along, and Edge and Christian, we're waiting for that. So it's a filler. What can I say? I'm like, it's a filler match. You need some filler time for the Bang Bang Club, and again, FTR does what they made something out of nothing to a degree.
To a degree, yes. What degree that is up to you. I will say that Hollywood Axe, the Axe Axon, has an Indian Deathlock in his bag of tricks, which causes Juice Robinson to tap out. I haven't seen a person tap out to an Indian Deathlock since. I don't know if I've ever seen it. Now that I think of it,
that's going to be the storytelling because they used that submission move. Juice tapped out, and again, remember that weeks away. when Edge and Christian, who is going to be the guy that's going to tap out to Dax the Axe or Cash the Cash or Cash Cash?
Stash the stash.
He's really biding his time.
Clash, you know?
He's really biding his time on the revenge for them, fucking up his wife.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to the Collision Holiday Bash.
Yes.
Because all this stuff I just said took place over 3 arduous, excruciating, agonizing hours that we had to watch. And even in fast forward at double speed, it still felt like quite a bit. So here, I only had to fast forward 1 hour, which is good. The Gold League is showcasing Jungle Joke versus Speedball, right?
Did you say Jungle Joke?
Did I?
Huh.
What did I mean to say? Yeah.
Well, he means Jungle Jack.
He meant it, and he's right. No, he meant it, and he's right. He's right.
Jungle Joke. Yeah. It feels like I'm saying it right every time. Jungle Joke.
No, you are.
Yeah.
Actually,
What's the problem?
no problem.
So Jungle Joke hits Luthez' finisher on Speedball. I didn't know Luthez and Jack Perry had the same finisher, but apparently I learned something.
Oh,
He takes advice from Luthez, bet that's what it is.
Hey man, that's a real wrestler.
But we can't forget how he got to that point. He had to bite Speedball Mike Bailey's foot first.
That's right. He's a
What's
bicycle.
going on, man?
1 week he bites Okada's penis, and then the next week he bites feet. He's a cannibal now. He should just change his name.
By the way, Vin.
Either that or he's got his own Pornhub category.
He does.
One of the two. Speaking of that,
legit.
so speaking of the dick bite, so I was listening to the Jim Cornette review of the match, right? And I was waiting for it because, what else would you talk about if that match, if he has to recover that match? And guess what? He went through the whole match review, didn't mention it. He doesn't even watch this match. He didn't even watch these matches. He just says he hates who he hates. And he does, but he tried to review the match. He talked about little bits of it, but the fact that he didn't mention the dick biting in his review shows that he's not watching the match. He's just assuming whatever. So, when he sits there and says all these things about your favorite wrestlers you hate, whichever, take that into account. Take that in with a grain of salt. Now, He even covered the promo afterwards when Jack Perry said, "It looks like I'm going to bite off more than I can chew twice in the same night." He referenced Jack Perry saying that, but he had no idea what he was talking about. He just casually repeated that Jack Perry said it.
Wow.
So, anyways, eventually, Brian reminded him about it because I guess he saw it on Twitter. But I'm just letting you know that when he watched that match, he did not even watch the match.
Can Jim Cornette be so desensitized with the product of AEW that it almost is like a Mandela effect for him? Like, he didn't even know that spot even happened. Sometimes when you don't like a product, you just don't. On. There's certain things you just don't see. No, Jimmy. No, again, I'm not defending it. It's not even defending. It's just like if you hate watch, right, Jimmy? This is what I'm saying. If you hate watch, you really will pinpoint what you don't like and make it a point to talk to your audience about that. But for Jim Cornette being in this game for 40 plus years to a degree, there's just things that he just like is going to dismiss now. Like, I'm just so desensitized by it right now that I won't even acknowledge it. That's almost even, he's not even giving a bad spot even a platform on his airwaves. That's what it is to me.
Well, he wouldn't.
Go for it, Vic.
He wouldn't miss an opportunity to bury it.
Exactly.
That's why I'm pointing it out that he didn't see it, and so for that, and it's just irresponsible because he's got such a big audience, but he's lying to the people about like these people's talent level. He makes excuses for all of his friends, And if he doesn't like somebody, whether I agree with him or not, like he hates Hangman too, and I agree with that, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter if I agree on these points. It's just kind of irresponsible. He takes way more detailed notes on this show than I do, but I clearly watch more of it than he does. So, take your pick.
Fast forward, right?
Yeah, who would you rather listen to do a
Your
review
notes,
of the show?
Your notes are big on the phone. How many nights? His notes on his phone is very big. I saw it.
He's seen it.
Yeah.
He's seen it. Yeah.
True.
I have to condense 3 hours into just a couple of pages here. But anyways, so after he hits Lutez's signature belly to back suplex finisher, Santa Luchasaurus comes out.
See?
And he's got a big sack of toys, and he reaches in his sack of toys and he gets it's like a toy truck of some kind. Like I couldn't quite see what it was, if it was like a fire truck or something, but he had like a little toy truck and he gave it to Mike Bailey. Like Mike Bailey was a little kid. And Mike Bailey accepted the truck like he was a little kid. He like clutched it to his chest. I was like, what are you going to do with this? Like, what is your, why is this happening?
For entertainment value. Now, this is just me. I don't know if you guys will agree with this, but Santa Luchasaurus, for the moment of what we just saw, he bit his foot. Out of the bag should have been a pair of Nikes.
Yes.
Just for comedy's sake. This is I guess I'm in Vince McMahon mark right now. This is Vince McMahon Kevin Dunn moment right now. You give him a pair of Nikes and he could be so happy and so giddy.
Even a pair of house slippers. Just anything related to foot protection, even if he didn't bite just the fact that he wrestles barefoot, the comedy layup is something foot related, as a Christmas gift. Yeah, but he gave him a child's toy instead, and he was happy with that. And as far as I know, there's no inside joke about if Mike Bailey collects toy trucks. I don't know that, so I didn't get it. If this is a being the elite thing, I didn't get it.
I don't know if it's a joke, but I know that Mike Bailey always says he's non-binary, so that's how he.
Yeah, I know, that's weird.
So I guess he could accept the toy because he's non-binary. I don't know.
I don't think that's what that means. I would think if he accepts a Barbie doll, that would be okay, that he's non-binary. Whatever. Anyways, so let's talk about Nathan Cruz again for a second. You remember him. Yes. He was the guy that was tag teaming with the grizzled young veterans.
Yep.
And he gets a singles match with Eddie Kingston here. But Eddie Kingston gets jumped by grizzled young veterans to start this match. So they kick his ass and roll him in the ring. And the referee's like, I see no problem with this. Ding, ding. And I don't know who Nathan Cruz is. But apparently Jeff Lippman does, because I could have sworn he put a comment up earlier.
I was going to say that
about
right now.
Talking about this guy's some kind of a veteran. And the announcer said he's a 19-year veteran. That's what the announcers on the TV show said. I don't know.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, he's world traveled. He's an international superstar. He fights, I think, in Rev Pro or something like that. And I guess
if you said he's a 19-year veteran, I'm a little dubious. If you said he's a veteran and he's 19, that I could believe, because he doesn't really look that old. But no matter how long he's been in the business, I'm watching this match and he did a left-handed schoolboy. So right off the bat, I'm just thinking, well, it doesn't matter how long he's been wrestling. He's a dumbass. You don't schoolboy with the left hand. It's always the right hand. So he hasn't learned that much in 2 decades.
And by the way, I found what Jeff said. He said, I can't believe Cleveland still exists. And Nathan Cruz is a 20-year veteran who was very proud of being in Ring of Honor and AEW. Oh. He's a 20-year veteran now.
Does that make him older? He's a veteran. He's a veteran of getting DDT'd by Eddie Kingston and losing flat.
Well, there you go. 1, 2, 3. And even dirty.
Yeah, goodbye. All right. So the CEO Open Challenge is answered by Windsor.
Jesus Christ. And this gets worse.
Oh, it does get worse.
And worse.
not only did Alex Windsor have to come out here and have a match, but she actually countered Mercedes's what is that move called that she does? The CEO special or whatever it's called. Like
the backstabber, wasn't it?
No,
the
other one. The one where she has a like in the gory bomb and then flips him around into a
it's the Monday special or something like that, wasn't it?
I don't know. I forget what it's called. I'm completely drawing a blank. Where's Zane Vicious when you need him? But anyways, she does some weird roll up thing. It like I don't know what this move is called. I'm sorry.
Well, it's no move. She just sits on Monet.
Well, no, she did the thing. It's like she did the thing where she like shoots
she rolls her up,
rolls her forward, like rolls her forward on her neck, and like she's like folded over, and like I don't know. It's I don't know the name for it. I didn't learn the name of that move when I was being trained, but apparently it's enough to hold down the CEO. So we have a new Rev Pro British Women's Champion, and there's some other belt that was tacked onto that Mercedes has. She lost 2 belts here.
It's the Rev Pro and British Women's Championship, Windsor.
Had to.
Yep. There you go. Also noticed that her son got in the ring and celebrated, and her son has kind of like an afro or something.
Should we be happy? Should we be happy? Should we be happy? Is this the disintegration of Mercedes Moné? Is this the title?
Has been happening. She has been losing championships suddenly.
You know, I could say this very confidently. How many people really gave a damn? It's too late. That's what it is. You milked it doesn't matter, right? You milked it so long. And then again, for me, every title is going to be lost except the TBS title because that will be the last title to lose. That's the way I would do it, bet that you lose the first championship you won is the last championship you lose. So
they screwed up. She should have been champion of all bouts back at what do you call it?
Well,
All In.
Oh, maybe, but again, you could have had the disintegration. But again, when you didn't talk about it after All In, that's the problem I have with that because again, you didn't tell no stories. She collected 7 more belts after that fact. But it's all about it's all about what you do on Dynamite. It's all about Renee having those hard-hitting questions, testing her out and like that. And then you start doing it a little bit here and there after Chris Statlander. So again, the timing's off, but she's got to lose these. By the time she loses all these belts, she has to lose that TBS belt before the Owen Hart Cup comes again in 2026. And then maybe that's where I hate to use the SI Awards winner. That's Mercedes redemption story. That's where she can win the 2026
already.
That's the story of the year. Mercedes redemption story, winning the Owen to win the fucking women's title by All In.
Right. That's not a prediction, ladies and gentlemen. That's a spoiler right there.
That's a bad spoiler. I don't even want it to happen, but that's the only thing that can
that's going to happen. 100%. You know that too, Vet. Come on now.
Yes, whatever. I mean, whatever. It's like you buried this title loss on a show that nobody's going to see, so it's kind of like, but also get the idea of like, you have to try to promote somebody to watch Collision. Like, look what can happen. Mercedes could lose a title on Collision. You better watch. So like, I get the idea of it.
It's funny you say that, man, because now I don't seem like a hater now because she lost the ROH TV title on an ROH pay-per-view that 10,000 subscribers to Honor Club. So it really doesn't.
And no one
spoke
about it either.
No one has. You speak about it on a Friday, and then just like John Cena proves, 3 weeks later you don't give it 2 shits. Now you got Collision, and she loses the British Unified Rev Pro title to another AEW contract. I don't have no problem with AEW. It's the venue. She lost it in her venue in an AEW controlled environment. She did not she did not travel to a British Rev Pro vet show on a Saturday or Sunday and lose it there to one of their top contenders. She lost it in a controlled environment. Where again, people gonna say I hate Mercedes, but again, it's just showing there that the political stroke. You're trying to protect her so much times. Now you got ample opportunity to lose these titles. If she's gonna lose all these titles on AEW control environment shows, this is nothing. This is even worse. Ultimo Dragon. is ashamed about this. He won 10 titles and lost it honorably like that. Matt Cardona was the indie belt collector. He lost all his titles in all those shows honorably. Now Mercedes is changing the rules. Come on, man. Sorry, I'm not a hater. I'm just showing you the facts.
To be fair, actually, Professor, the Ultimate Dragon, we didn't even know who he or when he lost those bouts. To be fair, I'm just saying.
But he lost it honorably. I'm not saying no organization controlled the gimmick there.
That's true. Excuse me.
So anyway, we'll see what happens next. But what happens next on this show is a Gold League match. Kevin Knight versus Okada. Okay.
Just say it.
Well, let's just say that Mercedes wasn't the only person upset tonight. But this is fine. It doesn't really matter because Kevin Knight already had an upset in the tournament. So
he needs another one now.
Yeah, he needs another one. Or maybe we're just not gonna get the finish that we thought we were. Maybe this tournament isn't building to something. Maybe it's Kevin Knight's tournament. What do you guys think about that? Maybe it's Kevin.
Do that, if
Kevin
time do that. Oh man! Oh my God!
I keep saying Tony Khan did not want to have one person run away with the tournament and make it seem obvious. So he's trying to create this intrigue and mystique with all people having the same amount of points. And I'll tell, at least for
I'm
this
on the edge of my
match,
seat, Prof. Come on.
I mean, what I liked the spot of the night was when they were gonna do they were both on each side of the ropes, and then they were gonna kind of do that Ricochet Logan Paul thing. Kevin Knight was willing to do it, and then Okada was like, "Nah."
He doesn't do that shit.
Yeah, I don't do that. He's laughing like, "This guy's serious? You think I'm gonna jump like that? You don't even know who I am."
He doesn't, but he found out later because actually the real spot, that was the good spot of the night, but the actual impressive spot of the night was when Kevin Knight came off the top and Okada got up and drop kicked him out of the air with like a laser accurate drop kick. So
the best
he does show off. Yeah, he does show off that he can do, amazing stuff when he actually needs to, whether Cornette likes it or not, or watches it or not. But anyway, overall, this match was kind of not good. Like they didn't really have much. No
chemistry, man.
Yeah, awkward parts at the beginning. They kind of settled in the middle, and then at the very end, when he goes for the Rainmaker and he's supposed to get countered into a small package, Kevin Knight puts him in the worst small package I may have ever seen, and Okada just has to sit there and get pinned by it because, that's the finish, but. Anybody could look at that and be like, I don't know how you would lose to that. Wouldn't you just slightly move your shoulder up and then not get pinned? Yeah. But because he didn't have him, so it just that kind of the finish kind of ruined it because he didn't cinch it in. But the point was made. And Kevin Knight has got another 3 points. And that's how we end our AEW week.
And before we end the show, I just want to point out, how he looked all shocked and all that at the end of the match and callously shocked? That's more like disgust. He probably hated this match so much, right, that he was just like, ugh. Does this kid even know who I am? Has he watched any of my matches? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Tony Khan is trying to do at least something that he saw all those years from the G1. He's trying to progress two up-and-comers. This is a showcase for Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight to get to the next level, guys. We know this.
Imagine it was all about that. It was all about Speedball and Knight in the end game.
We want Takeshita and Okada in the finals, but Tony Khan, the genius booker that he is, he says, you know what?
Genius.
Jet Speed against Jet Speed. We already had that match already in the tournament. Now we want to have that in the finals. We were duped.
Well, you know what, Vin? I'm impressed. You killed it, man. That was a good speed run, I think, including that you also added Dark. But to be real, though, man, he killed it. He killed it because we spoke a good hour of news and we still at the 2-hour mark. So that's why you are the best in the world. So in saying that, I'll start with you, actually, Vet. What are you doing tonight? Is there anything you're doing today, actually? What's coming up? And, tell them where they can find you. as they already
But
know.
you can find me.
Of course.
You can find me at Opinion Haver everywhere. All your favorite social media platforms, whether it's Twitter or Instagram or Twitch or TikTok or Snapchat or any of these other things I also don't use. You can still find me there. You can find me there inactive on those accounts that I just took the name, so no one else could be Opinion Haver on those platforms. But don't check out my Rumble channel. There's no content there, but it is there. So anyways, yeah, check me out on all those platforms. Check me out on Hameen Media Group every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for the Next Level Wrestling Review with Big Ray Hernandez. Catch me on Monday nights at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern for the Impact Attack with Brandon, where we talk about TNA. Check out Wrestling with Rip Rogers every Friday. Check out Steve Richards show every Friday.
While, man. Fuck. Yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah. Hey, work on letting people plug
The
too.
outros.
Yeah. Fuck. This is the worst Jimmy T episode in many months.
Oh shit.
And yeah. And check out Timmy Baltimore with the most recent Limpid Ain't Easy with Seth Skyfire from OVW. There you go.
There we go. All right, off to you, man. What's you guys taking a bit of a time off, I guess, from the Pro Wrestling Reflection, but still tell them where they can find you and what you're up to.
You can find me, How Many Nights, on that link right on below, youtube.com/@Pro Wrestling Reflection. We just dropped a Christmas movie edition to the podcast, and that's Country Hearts Christmas starring Chris Jericho. Yes, that movie did exist, and yes, this is a sequel, so there was 2 movies starring Chris Jericho with Country Hearts in the title. So, I tried doing it, but, I did it for Josh T and Couponer. That was the request. So I do request, guys. So follow me on the Twitter at PWPROF. And, of course, join the channel with myself and the Tommy Warner. But we're on hiatus, and we'll be back in 2026.
There we go. Is Javid going to be part of the team again?
Right. He's always
JB?
invited. He's always busy.
Always busy. Always JB's busy, goddammit. Anyway, as far as I go, even though I screwed up the intro and the outro, it seems, you can follow me at the PWC Network on the Twitter or the X, whatever it is. And also look out for I Like a Raw this coming Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, and I guess, what is it, 8 a.m. Pacific as well? Is that how it goes? Am I right, guys?
Give or take.
What is
Something
it?
like that? All
What'd
right,
you say?
good. I don't know. So I'm asking you guys.
7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern? Is that how you normally do it?
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not sure. I'm always screwing up Pacific, but still, nevertheless.
There's a 3-hour difference between Pacific and Eastern. I'll give you that.
Oh, okay, all right. Thank you for telling me that. I'll keep that in mind. Nevertheless, check it out. I Like a Raw. Me and Big Ray will be talking about bad shows. Last week was a bad show. But this week, we're going to give you the best show. Guaranteed. So also check out the Smack Attack, which also starred me, obviously, RBV and the Hammer, Charles Alford, where we talk all things WWE SmackDown. Of course, we even spoke about the Jake Paul fight, which we also did a watch along this past week as well with the same group of dudes, including Brandon. Whoop whoop. So go check both those shows out. They're actually quite fun, quite funny as well. And the Hammer has some of the best stories in wrestling today, so go check those out. And I can't even talk anymore. My voice is about to go. So other than that, I just want to say a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, because this is the final Wreckage of, not the year, but of Christmas. So yeah, so to you guys, if I don't see you, I'm sure I'll speak to you. But happy Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And also to everyone in the chat, same old Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And don't get too drunk. Obviously, he will come Christmas Day. And that's about it. So till next time, I am Jimmy T. He is the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams. And he is the magnanimous and glorious Chabelo Vera Cruz. And you've been listening and watching the
Wreckage.
Boy.
and you you are listening live right here on Having Media Group's YouTube channel and on channelattitude.com. After the fact, Merry Christmas and bye. Peace.